In 1929, the United States was richer than ever before. Factories were producing at record levels, wages were rising, and the stock market kept climbing. Millions of ordinary people believed they had found an easy path to wealth. Just 4 years later, 1 out of every 4 American workers was unemployed. Banks had collapsed, trade had frozen, and the world was facing the worst economic crisis in modern history. So, what went wrong? This is the story of how prosperity turned into the Great Depression. The 1,920 seconds were defined by confidence. After World War I, the United States became the world's leading economic power. New technologies transformed daily life. Cars became affordable. Radios entered millions of homes. Factories grew more efficient. Credit became widely available. For the first time, mass consumption shaped the economy. The stock market reflected this optimism. Between 1,921 and 1,929, stock prices more than tripled. Newspapers spoke of a new era. Many believed economic downturns were a thing of the past. Investing was no longer limited to the wealthy. Ordinary people borrowed money to buy stocks. Few considered what would happen if prices stopped rising. Behind the optimism, the system was fragile. Speculation increased rapidly. Many investors bought stocks on margin. They paid a small amount up front and borrowed the rest. If prices rose, profits were large. If prices fell, losses multiplied. Banks were also exposed. They used customer deposits to speculate in the market. There was no deposit insurance, little regulation, and almost no oversight. Outside Wall Street, warning signs were already visible. Farm incomes were falling. Consumer debt was rising. Income inequality was growing. The economy looked strong, but it was unbalanced. In October 1929, confidence broke. Stock prices began to fall. Investors rushed to sell. Panic spread quickly. On October 29th, known as Black Tuesday, the market collapsed. Billions of dollars in paper wealth disappeared in days. But the stock market crash did not cause the Great Depression by itself. What followed did. As prices fell, borrowers defaulted on loans. Banks failed. Depositors rushed to withdraw their savings. Each bank collapse triggered the next. By 1933, thousands of banks had closed. The financial crisis spread to everyday life. Businesses lost access to credit. Factories shut down. Unemployment surged. By the early 1,930 seconds, nearly 25% of American workers were unemployed. Food lines grew longer. Families lost homes. Savings vanished overnight. The crisis quickly spread beyond the United States. Global trade collapsed as countries raised tariffs. Canada and Australia, both dependent on exports, were hit hard. Commodity prices fell. Government revenues collapsed. A financial crisis had become a global economic disaster. The most damaging part of the Great Depression was its duration. Governments initially responded by cutting spending. Taxes were raised. Central banks allowed the money supply to shrink. Protectionist policies reduced global trade even further. These decisions worsened the downturn. Demand collapsed. Deflation took hold. Recovery stalled for years. The Great Depression reshaped modern economies. In the United States, the New Deal expanded the role of government. Banks were regulated. Deposit insurance was introduced. Financial markets came under supervision. Central banks learned the importance of acting during crises. Governments accepted responsibility for economic stability. Many institutions that exist today were shaped by this collapse. The Great Depression did not happen because prosperity was an illusion. It happened because risk was misunderstood, leverage was ignored, and systems were left unprotected. Understanding the past helps explain the present. History does not repeat itself exactly, but it often rhymes.